So what's your podcast about?
Okay, this is making me feel really uncomfortable. Not like it. Is my mic on?
Now I see the mic.
Okay.
Now we see it.
Well then, let's go.
Now we see it. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, what's going on? It's John Jeremy, and this is the Quiet Coyote Podcast. Ow! Everybody, we are re-recording. We did a whole podcast and we didn't hit record. So now that is my bad. We have new equipment and I'm really just enjoying it. I'm seeing everything right now. I'm seeing the time. I'm seeing my friends here. Okay, everybody, let's do this again. This is my friend Angel.
What up, what up, what up?
Coming back to co-host with me. And now we have our guest who's actually on his second time, technically. We have our buddy James.
Hey, how's it going?
James, thank you so much for coming back and staying again. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm wrong. I promptly admit it. We did have a good conversation. We talked about COVID stuff. We talked about bands. And now we were talking about recovery stuff when you came in. And I think that the recovery stuff was actually very beautiful and very poignant for you to speak about. For all those that know that we are part of, recovery, me and Angel have talked about our recovery for a while. In the last podcast, we talked about COVID and how it affected us and how it affected our program and meetings and things like that. Wait, so how long do you have?
I'll have 2 years, January 15th. So just it's kind of approaching. Yeah.
Yo.
Longest I've ever been sober in my life too. So
Congratulations, brother.
yeah.
Congrats.
2 years, January 15th?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey. Yo.
God willing.
God willing, just one day at a time. My goodness, my sponsor is going to have 17 years on the 1st of January. So January is a good month for you guys. You guys are celebrating. And how do you feel? Is this weird for you? Like being in recovery, or is this the longest you've ever had, kind of clean?
Yeah, clean and sober since the day I ever picked up a drink or a drug.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this is the longest consistent, no mind altering substances,
Ooh.
nothing like that at all. You know what I mean? Strict, real sober, real clean. You know what I mean? And first time I'm doing it for myself as well. And the crazy thing is I didn't have intentions of getting sober. You know what I mean? Like they said, I was familiar with the program, these programs, these 12-step programs, gave me a life as a kid. Because my family's a bunch of alcoholics and addicts. My mom was the only one that went into the program where she met my stepdad, and so I'd be going to all these picnics and stuff like that. So and it was just always a good time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew it worked. And then I was a drug and alcohol counselor for a little bit. So it was just, I knew that was the answer. It was literally the last thing I tried and the first thing that worked, you know,
Saying.
yeah. Heard it the other day. I was just no, that's crazy. It's so true. Cause I'd be no, I can try my way. You know what I mean? Always trying to take these shortcuts in life. And not even just with that, my whole life, just trying to I'm always taking shortcuts and and I end up just taking the scenic route, at the end of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can be oh yeah, this shortcut. And I just took the long road, you know what I mean?
You went all the way around just to end up coming back and having to do it this way anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I keep trying to do it the other way, or maybe invent a new way, which, sometimes it'll work, but a proven way is a proven way for a reason, and that's amazing. I didn't know your parents were, so you were going as a kid to these.
Since I think I knew the preamble of the program when I was 6. You know what I mean? And all my friends would their parents would be in recovery. You know what I mean? So
they would know it too. You guys would have your own little meetings. 6-year-olds
and
having.
Yeah, it was nuts. And
that is so funny.
Yeah, but yeah, it gave me a life, gave me whatever life I had. You know what I mean? I like to say people are oh, I had a horrible childhood. I had a mix, you know what I mean? There was times where things no kid should have to go through.
Yeah.
And but also I had some great, beautiful moments in life, you know what I mean? My childhood, looking back at it, there were certain things that were just really messed up, but also I was loved unconditionally. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like one thing I've always had in my life, like love, and you know, like nothing beats that. You know?
So you feel like you felt like you had are you saying like you had a good childhood, good upbringing for the most part, and like then you just still
Well,
became addicted to stuff, or
yeah. So when I everything was kind of like, I think like my therapist said, like you didn't know like, you know, what was coming. So like I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. My mom was a single mom. Like we moved to Pennsylvania from Long Island, and like culture shock. And like when we got there, you know, she was like a registered nurse. So like, you know, like she was like, and then like come to find out, you know what I mean? Like there's these rehab visits, you know, I didn't know about. That's why I was staying with my grandma. And I think I knew about them too. Like they said like, you know, she needed help or whatever. And like, I didn't understand it because I was just like, well, everybody else drinks. Like, why does she have to go? You know what I mean? Like, and like, my mom was good at hiding it.
Yeah.
Like the 3 times that I did see her and like intoxicated or just messed up, like real bad. You know what I mean? Like one time she didn't even know who I was. Like she forgot she had a son. And
Yeah,
like, but like meanwhile, like I'd see my grandparents drink every night and like
hold
just
it
like
together?
not hold it together. Like they were kind of sloppy, but
Okay.
like, but like they're the ones like, oh look, here comes the princess, the one that got sober, and like you know what I mean. Like I'm like hating,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Hey,
you
what
know
are
like
you
my
hating on?
mom kind of like broke that generational like curse. You know what I mean? Like, and eventually she got with it. Like she was always an amazing person. You know,
Nice.
we all have our like you know, our vices and like you know, things aren't you know perfect, but like you know she made it work. You know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like definitely my hero, my mom.
Aw.
So like yeah. And you know, I think she'd be proud today, you know, for sure. You know, took me like 36 years to get it right, you know, but the cool thing is now like you know, I experienced all this trauma and like death and loss in my life. And like now it's like how can I explain it? Being able to feel it. Like it sucks, but at the same time it's beautiful, you know, like now I'm experiencing it. And like then like, you know what I mean? Like I was gonna use regardless, but like, you know, having somebody die in my family or like having something bad happen just gave me the excuse to just like use more. And like I don't know why that was. Maybe because it's like, oh, people are gonna like, but I only hung out with drug addicts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, like you're getting a little too overboard. I'm like, like never have I heard that one. Actually, no, I did hear that. So it's just like, you know, it was never the intentions of becoming a drug addict. You know what I mean? Like I thought I had the book of like, you know, what not to do. Going to all these meetings and seeing everything and be like, oh, okay, I know what not to do. And then eventually I did it.
And then you
and
just-
like, and then I even put some more there. You know what I mean? Like
Isn't
a
that
whole nother book.
Isn't that amazing? Like that's addiction. It's like I know what to do, and it's like, but why do I keep doing it? That's addiction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it whether I want to or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How was your upbringing? Was pretty good, or were you had like a rough upbringing?
I mean,
I feel like this mic keeps falling down. We're gonna have to fix that.
I mean, my life, like, I was adopted when I was 9 months old and stuff. So like, I had a good, I had a good childhood, but like, I had some traumatizing stuff happen when I was 5 years old and stuff, and I never really like dealt with that like trauma until I got older and stuff, and I realized like, oh my god, like that was, yeah. I did have a good childhood. Like, even though my parents weren't the nicest at some points and stuff, like I was mostly like raised by my sisters. Like my older sister Tina, she's literally the best person ever. Everything I know that's cool, I learned it from her. Like she brought me to my first concerts, and yeah, like addiction ran in my family too, and a lot of mental health struggles in my family too. So like growing up, I didn't really see like that much of it, except for like at family parties and stuff, where like, you know, family members get like a little too drunk and stuff, and they do some antics and stuff. But yeah, I have family members who were really deep in addiction and stuff, and I didn't know it until I got older and stuff. Like, oh, they were on drugs, like heavy, like especially opioids. Like that was like a big thing in my family, where like some family members got really like deep into it and stuff. So like I didn't really get into like drugs, alcohol until like I was like a little older. Like the first time I ever did anything was when I was like 17 in my friend's
Yeah.
backyard. He threw like a little keg. He threw a kegger, and the first thing I ever had was Budweiser. Tastes
Yeah.
like dog piss, but the confidence it gave me was like amazing and stuff. Cause like mind you, like I was a shy, emo ass kid who like scary movies and skateboarding, and I didn't really talk to anyone. But like drinking, like it gave me that boost of confidence and stuff. And yeah, and I rolled with that from the time I was 17 until I was 20. I got sober when I was 23. Yeah.
When you drank the Budweiser, did you get buzzed and then that was cool? Or did you drink a lot and like from that night?
From what I remember, like I think I had 3. Like it wasn't cans. It was on the keg, whatever keg thing and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and like
Get the
it just,
foam coming out.
yeah, and it just made me feel amazing and stuff. Like it tastes like dog crap, but like dog piss, but like it made me feel amazing.
The more you drink, the less it tastes like dog piss.
Yeah, like at a certain point, it just tastes like water, and that's when it gets dangerous. So,
How old were you? Do you remember like when you started? Were you that like young?
You know what it was? My mom, like there was no getting over on them around my stepdad. So like I remember the first time smoking weed, and like we lived in a cul-de-sac, right?
Yeah.
So every house was the same, and like every
cool.
house, in order to live there, was like low income housing.
Yeah.
So and then like you'd go down this drive with all these beautiful houses, like straight driveway, and then all of a sudden you get to the end, and like they're like the end, like so it's like a one way, so you come out the same way.
yeah.
And then
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
all
yeah.
these low income houses out
Yeah.
there. And I remember like you can see where I was at. Like you can walk 12 feet, and like my friend's mom wasn't home yet. And I remember we were smoking weed. I was just like, Mom, like I'm like 14 years old. Like just like, you know what I mean? Like she's coming back, you know what I mean? Like there's no adult supervision. And like she made me come home. And so I was just like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? I thought, you know, I was like kind of scared. And I walked in the door, lights are off. They're in the living room watching TV, and they're like, oh my God, you're high. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like,
You're
no.
trying to hide it from
Like-
people
like-
that
like-
have been getting
But
high.
then like here I think like, you know what I mean, I'm the smarter one. Like, yeah, I'll get over on them. Like my stepdad, you know, owned a halfway house, really involved in the program, has like, you know, piss tests. So he's like, go upstairs and piss in this, right? So like, I don't know what to do. This is my first piss test probably ever in my life. You know what I mean? Besides peeing at the doctor. So I was just like, okay, well,
This
like,
was in your
I think I
house?
peed a little bit in it and put like some toilet water in it.
Yeah.
And then like, I remember him reading, and he's like, even though I know you watered this down, and I'm like, does he know that? Like,
Like, how do
and
you know? Are you watching me?
so it was just like I missed out on a lot of stuff in high school, like going to parties and stuff. And then eventually I think my mom just kind of was like, all right, I kind of have to let him be free a little bit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like maybe she was scared of resentment building, because there kind of was, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not only did I have a hard time fitting in, but like now these are events that I can possibly fit in with. And like also like, yeah, I want to try all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'd be going to these meetings, and like you hear these war stories or like these stories. I wouldn't hear the sad part about it. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, yeah, it felt so great. And then like,
We
but
did
then,
this and
then,
that.
and then I'd hear like, oh yeah, I just like lost all my money and whatever. And then like in my mind, I'm just like, well, why didn't you just buy a little bit and just like keep your money in you know what I mean? I had no understanding of it. Like I did and I didn't. Like I was like, okay, you have a problem, but like I don't get it. Like you know what I mean? Like because like, and then my mom telling me like, I think you're you know, you might be an addict, but you know, I didn't start like getting into like drinking, and like, you know, I did a bunch of drugs in high school here and there, but honestly, until like after college is like really when my addiction kind of like took hold and was present. And then like I knew there was something definitely wrong. I knew I was different from the very beginning, from my first sip of alcohol
Yeah.
till like, you know, whenever, but like I always had like this routine. So, you know what I mean? Like something good in my life, and like going to college, doing this, and not until like, you know, I lost my job, and then like, you know, so.
Do you think your job was like the first inkling that you like of unmanageability? It sounds like.
Well, that was like my
Or what do you
first
think?
job straight out of college. So like I did my internship at like some like behavioral specialist.
Oh,
like,
cool.
So I was like a caseworker for a little bit,
Yeah.
for a couple months, and then I went into the rehab. You know what I mean? And I think at the time, like I didn't want to be back in that town, just like 'cause my mom passed away during college, and like the house seemed like she still lived there. So I was just like, I had no intention of moving back, but like, you know, a breakup in college happened, so I had no choice.
Oh, right.
So I was living like, you know, an hour and a half away from home, and then having to come home, like I felt like defeated, you know what I mean? Like, oh, these aren't my plans.
yeah.
And then I started working as a drug and alcohol counselor. And then like, you know, eventually I was just like, you know, I think what happened was I started selling weed
Yeah.
because I wanted to save up money. And then I just met somebody that happened to have like heroin, you know what I mean? And then like that's really when my addiction like took over. And like nothing was the same after that, you know. Before that, like I could compare like, oh, I was just drinking like a normal college kid, and kind of was, you know what I mean? Like if you really looked at it, but I knew I was different because like if I wasn't drinking, I was thinking about drinking, you know what I mean? And like I wanted more.
Yeah.
And like, and you know, you don't have to sneak drinking in college, you know what I mean? Like that's just like the one place like, and
If you're not drinking, people are probably looking at you like,
Yeah.
why aren't you drinking?
yeah, but I went to like a dry campus.
smoking.
So
Oh,
like,
really?
there
It
was
was dry?
no, there was no
Where was this?
alcohol allowed. Central Penn College. It was like outside Harrisburg.
Okay, all right.
So like we had like townhouses and apartments on dorm rooms, and like people commuted or whatever. But it was like even if you're 21, you were not allowed to have alcohol on
really?
site. But like, you know, I started getting away with all these parties and stuff like that. And like, you know, I learned the system and how to get away with it. But like, just
Yeah.
like Angel said, like we'd go to like Shippensburg and like go party out there at different colleges.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the same, you know what I mean? Like I'd have like 20 people in my apartment, but like telling them like, yo, you can't keep going back outside and coming back in, you know what I mean? Putting the blankets up on the window so security can't see.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just crazy.
A lot of effort to try to get this.
It really was, you know
Right?
what I mean? Like going through all this like crazy just to like, you know what I mean?
That's the inkling right there. It's
Yeah.
like looking back, hindsight is 2020. Seeing all the effort that we put in to just do something simple like use or whatever, and then it's like looking back, it's like, oh, it's kind of extreme. Like putting blankets on the windows just so I could like most people would just be like, nah, I just won't do it then. But not us.
Yeah.
Not us.
Like
We're-
so much effort just to like do something like
Yeah, so much effort.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's without a doubt, man. That's so crazy. And so you think so then it was like the job started getting affected and you started to like, you know.
You know what it was? It was like more along the lines that like literally now like I'm doing heroin in the bathroom while I'm like, you know, doing somebody's treatment plan, and I say, hold on, you know what I mean? This kid's probably wanting to get high. And I said, hold that thought. And I go into the bathroom, I go get my fix, come back out and be like, okay, what do you want to do about this? You know what I mean? I started noticing like, you know, what was in alignment with me, like how I felt. So like I'm doing all these things that literally feel disgusting to me, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like I'm trying to justify it. I'm trying like living in delusion, just anything so I don't have to live with that guilt and shame. And like lies, you know, lying, and like nobody knew anything either. Like I was working there for like, I was doing that for over a year, like maybe a year and a half.
So you
and
feel like you were hiding
but
the
I
good.
started stepping down. Like I wasn't a counselor anymore. I went to clinical technician, and like, cause like now it's just like my priorities, my getting high were more important now. You know what I mean? Like I still wanted to help people, but like little did I know, like, you know what I mean? Like I thought my life was still manageable. And like I don't think like honestly like I don't like that word because it's just like my whole life was unmanageable. You know what I mean? Like even as a kid, like I said, like nothing was like consistent, stable
Yeah.
until like I was with my grandparents or like my aunt. So I didn't know what was coming, and I could deal with unmanageable.
Yeah.
It's like the other feelings like unbearable. You know what I mean? Like those are things that I struggled with, and like just emotional wise, like I didn't know how to handle emotions. You know, like I did.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say like I was a sensitive person, and like, but other than that, like, you know what I mean? Like I was really good at just running.
You made me think of something before. I can't remember exactly what you said, but you made me think of this saying that says, I know that I was like an alcoholic, not like how I felt when I was drinking, but how I felt when I was sober. Meaning that like I felt so uncomfortable sober, or like I just was looking for not to be sober. And I think that like you said about how to handle my feelings, how to manage them, like, again, looking back, like I can say for myself that like taking all my hits sober, taking breakups sober. I had a bad breakup. Like I had a few bad breakups. Both my parents passed away when I was sober. Like just on and on and on, taking all my sober hits. So like managing emotional sobriety. And we talked about COVID thing earlier, like how some people were managing in certain ways. And once those ways were cut out, they tended to relapse. And like that's me learning, like me navigating, not learning, like I'm navigating, I'm doing the best I can. You know, like
I mean, I think that's all we can do is just the best we can. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's really got it figured out. Like, you know, like we can go along with something that, you know, has been working for so long. But other than that, like, what do I know? You know what I mean? I don't know anything. You know, like
like your what was it? You said your therapist said something about like you didn't know what was coming or something. I was like, I don't know what's coming in general.
Having like
anytime.
This, like I think I still have fears of like abandonment, like not just like loss. I've been through so much like death in my life, but like loss of just people getting up and leaving, this and that, and you know, like with my ADHD and whatnot, she was like, you know what I mean? Like, no wonder like your mind was going a mile a minute because you didn't know what the next day was gonna like, what was gonna happen the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could be in another state. Like I could be living with my grandparents again. And like, you know, it was just like, I knew we were different from all the other families. You know what I mean? Like I'd go over and I'd be like, wow, this is your house. You know what I mean? Like they have like, I'd be like, what? Like, and, you know, I always looked at, but like, you know, we made it doable, you know what I mean? Like nobody knew, like, you know, we weren't poor per se, but like we were just getting by.
Yeah.
But my mom did a good job of like, you know what I mean? Like little did I know, like all these Adidas shirts and Nike shirts. I'm like, yeah, I got the sick clothes, but my mom's getting them at thrift stores. There's nothing wrong with that. I love thrift stores. But
now you love
back then though, if like I would have heard that, like my ego and like literally the fear of getting made fun of or the fear of people finding out, like, you know what I mean? Because I already felt different. I didn't need anything else to like literally make me stand out, you know?
Yeah, dude, I don't know if it's different nowadays. Like, I feel like back then, like when I was growing up, like as a kid, like if you didn't have new sneakers going into the school year, like the kids would make fun of you, like in middle school and prior to that. And nowadays, as I grew up, it's kind of like you're kind of not cool if you don't have like a vintage or like a thrifted something cool like that looks like you made it or something. At least that's how I look at it today. But I don't know if that's any different nowadays with the whole
like the whole like thrift game is just ruined because like it got like popular. Like beforehand, like you used to find some really cool stuff at thrift stores, like some really unique pieces of stuff. And now when you go to thrift stores, like you just see like all like you can just tell like these people are like resellers and stuff, and like you could. And they're grabbing like all the cool stuff. Like one time I saw a like vintage Thrasher like tie-dye hoodie, and I was gonna grab it at a thrift store, and I had to go to the bathroom real quick, and I came back to get it, and some dude already brought it, and
you guys snatch it up. You guys snatch it up quickly.
Yeah.
If you like stuff like that, watch a show on Netflix called Slobby's World. It's fire. This guy goes in and you saw Slobby's World? Mm-hmm. He's from Arizona and he just goes shopping and he gets like a old vintage Champion shirt or sweatshirt for like $3, but he'll sell it for like 70, you know, because it's vintage and stuff like that. But getting back to what we were talking about before, because I thought it was very interesting, bro. Like you basically, whatever the case may be, whether you had a gene that was addictive or whatever, like it sounds like you were always had that capability of being addicted. And like, you know, I dodged heroin. I remember the day that I dodged it, especially when I was staying with a friend. She was my boss. And we ended up like hooking up and like just hooking up and stuff. And she let me stay at her house, and like her and this other really nice guy from like the rich part of like Huntington, like he would come over. She wasn't in the rich part of Huntington. We were like in the station. Yeah. But like he would come over and like he was so nice and kind of doofy. Mm-hmm. And like I just remember him just being, but he was a heroin seller. Like he sold heroin and did some of it. So I remember when they were in the bathroom and I was doing cocaine on the table. And they were like sticking out. They're like, "Do you want to do some of this? Do a bundle, sniff it." They were sniffing it. So I was like, "Well, what happens?" And they told me this is what happened. They said, "Well, you know, you're gonna sniff it, and you may get sick, and you may throw up, but then you're gonna feel so good That's what they told me. So then I said, no, I'm okay. I'm good with my cocaine. And I literally, if I would have just said, all right, let me try. I don't know where I would be. I don't even know if I'd be sitting here with you, to be honest. But I dodged that bullet. So I know heroin is no joke. But not everyone gets addicted, because I've talked with people that have done it a lot of times and they just stopped.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, right? So my question is, because I'm thinking, bro, like, all that sounds heavy. Like, what is it? Like, what happened 2 years ago that like made you? What was it? What was like the thing that you think that was just, bro, like that was able to help you to be like, I can't do this anymore, and like then now you're almost 2 years. Like, is there anything, like one thing, or do you think it's like an accumulation of
I
things?
think it was accumulation of things, because like I said, I'm
Perfect
very
storm of
adaptable. So
recovery.
like I would go into rehab, and then I would come back to like this trap house I lived in, which started off as like a nice apartment. I got kicked out of the apartment down the road, and
Always
like
starts
you
out
just
like a
walk
nice
up like
apartment.
2 blocks, 3 blocks, and I met this like old guy that we lived with. And like this house became so bad, like I'm talking about needles everywhere, blood on the walls, like infested with mice. And it was just like, at one point I'm like, what am I doing with my life? You know what I mean? Like I would question that every now and again, but then like I had to be optimistic, because like I'm not going to be miserable and do, like I tried to have like, okay, I'm going to make the best of this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And as long as I had the drugs, I was fine. And then like I was really good at just pushing stuff like out of the way and not thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like that was like a talent of mine, and just like running. And what happened was I just kept getting in trouble. You know, I get these warrants, and then like I'd go to vacate it at the same time, having that same day as an arraignment. So I go get a vacated warrant, and then I had to go back downstairs for an arraignment for a new charge. So in between all these like court dates, I'm keep getting arrested.
Jeez. Why are you living in a trap house?
Yeah,
Why are you
yeah.
trying to
And
be
like
addicted?
it just got to the point where it was just, I don't know what happened, but like they said like it was either jail or the sober house. I've done jail before. It wasn't that big of a deal to me. But then I was just like, okay, well, I obviously don't want to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like you're trapped there. You have nothing to go. But like, it was just like, I thought about like, okay, if I do this, like it's only three months, 3 to 6 months. And then like when I get out, I'm not on probation. I'm not on this. I'm not on that. I could probably get high. I'll definitely get high in jail.
My goodness.
And
Same as me.
so I was just like, you know what? No, I don't want to do jail. I'm just gonna like, I begged them, and they said you have to get into a sober house. And like the sober house like saved my life, you know what I mean? And like while I was in there, I was like one of the very few people, like, you know what I mean? Like, well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. You know what I mean? I feel like I should go to a meeting. Plus I was so bored, you know what I mean? And I knew the program worked, but
Yeah.
like I had no intentions of getting sober. I was just like, I'm gonna just ride this out.
I'm just gonna
And
go.
like I was still scheming, you know what I mean? Like, how can I get high?
Yeah.
And you know, like I just like went to my first meeting. I got like a sponsor, and then like somewhere through the work, like something just happened, and I was just like, oh, this is life now. Like I started feeling more like just better every single day. Like that obsession lifted. And then like the hard part about being sober though is like once all that like the obsession lifted, like now it's life. Now catching back up on everything that I neglected.
Yeah.
That was pretty overwhelming, but like I made it through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like finding out, like most importantly, the most toughest thing was like finding your authentic self, because like I'm not the same person that I was, you know what I mean? I'm not that drug addict anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I'm definitely a different person. So it was just like being around people again, like, you know what I mean? I didn't know how to talk to people anymore.
Yeah.
Like unless you're like, but there are a bunch of drug addicts as well. So like I felt like at home, you know?
Yeah.
It was just a safe place. And then like honestly, like young people is like what did it for me. Like really, like, you know, the steps saved my life, but like young people's meetings really like gave me a social life. And like I'm so grateful for that, because like I have so much fun in sobriety today.
It gives
Like
you
all
it gives you
yeah.
a purpose too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a dude that calls me, and he's young, and like it's just people asking for help and just being able to be there. But you're right, like there's a lot of fun stuff. Like I've been all around the country. I've been to 45 states, and because of young people, I've been able to plug in, and I've been able to like see like recovery all over, and like get involved. And it's fun. It's like you said, it's fun. I know. I mean, can't even look at Angel, because Angel's like the epitome of like, I feel like Angel lives life. Every time I talk to Angel, Angel's in the city, going to a concert, going to something going on, and I'm here too. I'm like either having a party here or like, you know, we got together with other friends and like we made pizza, like we did the dough and like made fresh pizza and baked it and watched a movie. Like we'll have movie nights, game, like bro, like it's on and on and on. Like I can't even describe like how much fun that we have here. So I think that like I like how you said. Like you don't like. I think all of us, unless most of us, don't remember when Obsession lifted. It like snuck up on you. I feel like you had the gradual, like you just kept coming, and all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, I'm that guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know. I didn't think I'd be doing this or that or this type of service. You know?
You know what happened? Like during like when I was sober, like I lost both like my stepdad's grandparents, like so my grandparents and like my best friend from childhood. I watched him die like my first month in recovery in a hospital bed from alcoholism. Like his kidney shut down, everything. A horrible slow death.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm realizing like, you know what I mean, these are things that literally would have like just like, you know what I mean? Like I would definitely have been on like the run and like on the way. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not getting high.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? You know what I mean?
What happened?
So like I'm just like, this is, so like, I think one day it just hit me. I'm like, I'm not thinking about getting high or doing drugs anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about drinking anymore. I'm not, and it was just an amazing feeling. And then like now, like you said, like I had a sense of purpose. I took on all these commitments. You know what I mean? Eventually I started sponsoring people. My sponsee's coming up on like a year, in November, like the end of November,
Heck yeah.
which is like incredible. And like, he helped me more than he'll ever know though. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like that experience,
They
that first time was just so, like it was something. I can't even explain it in words, but like it.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, like this is like, I live and breathe this today, and it's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And like so far so yet, like there hasn't been a day where I'm just like, I don't feel like going to this meeting. You know what I mean? And hopefully it stays that way, but you know, I'm sure there's a day come that like, you know, I'll be like,
There's gonna be days, but like I can attest to like it gets better. Like my lowest lows are still higher than any other time. Even some days when I felt like it wasn't, I'm like, nah, like I can't take this emotional or mental pain. Like I've really gotten into certain places, but it just pushed me to keep evolving more. Like, you know, like I know when I said when I went to another 12-step fellowship, I said at that moment I was like literally suicidal, and I already had 6 or 7 years clean and sober, and I just felt another low, but it just pushed me to another one, and then I got way better. I'm so happy. And then that one led me to another one. And, you know, I could only attest to that just as long as I keep moving, you know, little by little. It doesn't have to all happen at once. But, dude, that's so awesome. I mean, I'm glad that I think a beautiful thing, what you said before was that we didn't record the first podcast. You were like, I believe God intended us to record the second one, and I could be honest, I think this second podcast is like just what we needed, what I needed.
No, absolutely.
This second podcast was like from the beginning. From beginning to end, I really needed it. Do you think we can have you come back sometime?
Absolutely, anytime. I would love that.
Yeah? Oh man, because I think that this really helped me. So I really hope this episode helped everyone else. I really got so much from what you had to say. Thank you so much for coming. And as we close out, as always, we usually have like a affirmation or a few words. I'm laughing because Angel said something funny last time. But Angel, what would you like to say this time?
All right, I'm not gonna say the other one, but like, I'm not gonna say it. But like, I'm gonna say this. Listen to music. Whenever you're feeling down, whenever like life's just a little like too crazy, like just sit down for like an hour, listen to music. It always helps me a lot. Like especially when life's getting crazy at the moment and stuff. Like, sit down, listen to an album you've never heard before. You never heard before. And just relax. What's the word? Meditate. Just relax, listen to it, and you'll see. Like it feels good.
Wow, you make me want to do that now. I just want to like put on an album, just vibe out to it, but like just get into that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, like I did that recently with the Grateful Dead. Like really good. It was their Mars Hotel album, I think. Yeah, it was that one, and amazing album, 10 out of 10. Check out the Grateful Dead.
Woo!
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. And James, how about you? What do you have? What are your parting words?
Like, I think I said it in like the last one
You
that
say that.
wasn't recorded. No, like, don't lower your vibration for anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, stay where you're at on that frequency. You know what I mean? You don't have to lower your mood for anybody else to match theirs. Just like stay true to yourself, you know? Like that.
I love that. It's like my brother Ryan would say, stay true, stay you. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it, and we'll be glad to have you back again. And for me, I'm just going to say what I usually say is don't do drugs. Stay in school and start a podcast so I can be on it. All right, guys. All right, everyone. Peace out. Have a good one. Till next time.
So what's your podcast about?
Okay, this is making me feel really uncomfortable. Not like it.